welcome. Let's start in a comfortable seat. I'm elevating my pelvis on a little blanket to give a little extra lift. So maybe my knees are a little bit below the hips. And I'm moving the flesh away so I can really feel connected to the earth with my sits bones. Drawing my low belly in. Looping my shoulders up, back, and down. And then drawing my head back. Just a little bit, like from the throat. To try to stack our head over shoulders, over rib cage, over hips. And then maybe let your hands palms down on your thighs or your knees. You can close your eyes for a moment. And let's just land here in our bodies. Taking a moment to notice how we're feeling. Notice any particular part of the body that might need a little extra TLC and modifications today. Or notice if you're feeling like you might want to challenge yourself. Just notice the energy level. Notice how you're feeling in your mind. See if you can bring your attention here to this physical body, to your breath. As you allow your breath to deepen, allow it to slow. Maybe noticing the three-dimensionality of your breath as it fills the belly, the side ribs, the back body, coming all the way up to the collarbones. And then notice as your breath dissolves, bringing a little tone to the belly, pausing in that empty place. And continue with the inhale, filling up, feeling full, and then on an exhale, emptying out. So take 2 more breaths like that. Good. Now, if you like, you can flutter your eyes open and let's go right into a tabletop posture where we can start with a cat-cow and start to mobilize the spine. So since you have the blanket, you can leave it here if you'd like a little extra cushion for your knees. We'll have very few knee-down postures today. This will be one of them, one of the few. Let's see, here we go. So make sure your knees are underneath your hips. Hands underneath the shoulders. Plant the hands on the earth so that you're grounding through the fingertips and having a little space underneath the palm. Give a little tone to your belly. Inhale, send your sits bones to the sky. Drop your belly, lift your heart and gaze. Exhale, round, tuck the tailbone, round the spine and drop the head. And breathe like this. Inhaling in the extension. Exhaling in the flexion. Inhale and exhale. So about 2 more times. Moving the spine in these 2 directions. Good. 1 more. And then exhale. And pause when you're in your cat back. Press the earth away with hands and knees. Draw the navel towards the spine. Round it out. Breathing here. Feel a little opening in the back body. And then exhale and come back to neutral. Now we're going to turn this into a puppy pose. So what you'll need to do is you're going to need to move your knees back. And actually I'm going to get one thing here. I'm going to get a mat towel. I want to show you this. A mat towel is really nice. You can put this, actually I'm going to put it on my whole mat today to show you. So these are good for vinyasa flow practices when they're a little heated. And also that helps you to glide a little bit, your feet when you're doing jumps and jump throughs. If you need a little more resistance, you can just even wet it a tiny bit, with a little spray bottle, so that gives you more of a resistance. So I'm going to draw my knees back a little bit and my hands forward a little bit, and then keep your hips over your knees. Melt your heart towards the earth, so your head comes between your arms, like your ears in particular are between your biceps. Ground the fingertips again. Get a little lift through the palms, and then lift the arms, your triceps and your armpits. And then notice what happens if maybe you take a little pressure out of the wrists, that you feel that it stabilizes your shoulders. Give a little extra, engagement to the core as you lift your hips to the sky, and breathe here. Now this is actually the alignment that we would like in our down dog. So you're getting nice lengthening in the torso. And then, as I said, you're lifting the arms, the upper arms and your armpits. And then maybe you notice a little external rotation, maybe even spin the inner arms up towards the sky so the shoulder blades move apart and down the back. Nice and stable in the shoulders, core engagement, less strain in your wrists. Take another breath or two here. Keep engaging the core. So it's really important to draw the navel into the low belly. Now, keeping this alignment with your upper body, curl your toes under, keep your knees deeply bent, and send your hips to the sky. So we're here in this sort of modified dog pose. Yeah, sometimes I call this like tiger dog. So you're got a sense that you're gripping with your fingertips. Get a nice like tiger paws on your hands. This alignment of the upper body, engaged core, active arms, lifting from the armpits, toned belly, and breathe here. Keep lifting your hips to the sky. Now let's start to warm up our calves, our legs, or our whole entire leg, but especially the calves. So extend that right leg and drop that heel towards the earth. And then bend that knee again and do the other side. And just pedal your feet up, but go slow, warming up the legs. And breathe here. Keep the armpits lifted, the ears between your biceps and your belly engaged. Good. And now after you've gone to both sides equally, see if you can bend both knees again. Lift your hips to the sky. Restabilize the upper body as I've cued already. And then start to bring your legs towards straighter and find your down dog. One more breath or two here. And then we're going to come into a plank pose. So from here, come forward, shoulders over your hands, and you're in your high plank. If you need to, you can always lower your knees down here. Keep your hips in line with your rib cage, your belly toned. Go forward with your chest, whether your knees are down or not. Bend the elbows back to hover by your rib cage, and then press back up. So a couple times, go forward, lower down, and then press back up. Right? One more time, go forward, lower all the way down onto our belly. Hands are right in line with your chest. Maybe they're a little bit lower by your side waist. Uncurl the tops of your feet, plant the tops of the feet down, peel up, looping the shoulders down the back, lift your heart, and breathe here. And then exhale, lower down a couple times like that. Inhale, peeling up, and exhale, and lower down. Inhale and peel up, and then exhale and lower down. One more time. Peel up and hold it here. Lifting your heart, looping the shoulders down the back. Find your cobra here. And then we're going to come back up into our dog pose. So you decide how you're going to do that. If you will curl your toes under and press up through a reverse chaturanga, or if you're going to come up through hands and knees. So up to you. See what you're feeling like today. Pressing up, and then lift your hips to the sky. Find your dog pose again. Good, and breathe here. All right, so grounding through the hips, head between our arms, armpits are lifted, hips are high. Soften your knees again. And we're gonna practice jumping. So you're just going to, put a little weight towards your hands, you'll bend your knees, and you'll hop up. So we're getting used to the idea of jumping forward. So bend and hop. Bend and hop, and if you don't feel like hopping today, you don't have to hop. Stay in your dog pose. One more time, hop. Now this next time, we wanna hop and go forward to hop our feet between our hands. So if it feels like you'd like to try it, great. If you just wanna walk forward, great too. Hop forward, and you're in your forward fold. Nice. Hang out here for a moment or two. Maybe even widen your legs if that's better, if you have tight hamstrings and calves. But otherwise, you can keep your legs together in your first forward fold. You can shake your head yes or no. You can sway side to side here. Just take a little stretch out. And then bring that movement to stillness. Let's rise up halfway, get long. Create length through the side body, so your torso is in line with your hips. Exhale, go back into your fold. Now I opened up my feet a little bit. They were together, but now I opened them up hip width because we're gonna go into our awkward chair pose. So now, instead of coming back up, let's bend our knees deeply. Draw your hips back towards your heels, right? And then lift your chest, lift your arms. Good, beautiful. And we can lift our arms a little higher if you like. I like to spin my pinkies toward each other, my palms upward, so my shoulders move down my back. I can focus more on activating the hamstrings and the glutes, keeping belly toned, and breathe here. Inhale and exhale. Good. Take one more breath. Now stay here, and then shift your weight to your left foot. Peel up that right heel. So you're coming on your right tippy toe. Now stay there, or if you can lift that leg. So you're in a single leg Utkatasana. Good. Take one more breath, and then use your left leg to come all the way up to standing. The right leg lifts at sort of a 90-degree angle. Bend your elbows into Devayasana arms. Give a little tone to your belly. Rotate to your right. And breathe. One more breath here. And then come back through center. Lower, bend your left knee, lower your right leg. Extend your arms, Utkatasana again. Okay, good. Now go a little deeper if you can. Get light on the left leg. Peel the heel up. Good. Lift the leg to like a little bit of a marching position. Use your strong right leg to rise you all the way up. Bend your arms to Devayasana and rotate to your left. And breathing here. Wringing it out. Come back to center. Bend the right knee, lower the left leg, extend your arms. And breathing here. Stay here. Now lower your arms to shoulder height. Turn your palms down. See if you can lift both heels, a little or a lot. Good, maybe go a little deeper, hovering here. Good. Nice, nice, nice. And then now use your strong legs to press the balls of your feet down into the earth. Bring your legs towards straighter. Send your arms to the sky. Urdhva Hastasana. Balancing. And breathe. Keep the big toes grounded. Find a fixed gaze. Calm, easy breath. Good. And then slowly lower your heels. Lower your arms. And shake it out. Good job. All right. So now let's start our first wave. We will come back to that short side of our mat, finding our Tadasana. So grounding the feet, engaging the legs, drawing your tailbone down, giving the tone to the belly. Bring your shoulders up, back, and down. Lengthening through the crown of the head. And again, drawing your throat back. All right, so let's go through a little bit of a vinyasa, some breath to a forward fold to get into another Utkatasana. So big inhale, get long, focus on elongation here. If you like, you can lift the heart and lift your gaze, add a little extension. Exhale, hands through prayer or swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, get long, take all that length back into your fold and then bend your knees, lift your chest, lift your arms forward, maybe at that 45-degree angle. Utkatasana again. Maybe you're sinking a little deeper. Keep your belly toned, tailbone drawing down so your low back stays neutral. Good. And now send your arms back behind you, palms facing down, sort of like the airplane arms. Turn your palms toward each other now, thumbs facing down. Interlace your hands into Yoga Mudra. Good, and breathe. Keep lifting the heart, belly toned, lumbar spine in its natural curve, shifting weight back towards heels, working glutes and hamstrings. Weight into right leg, peel the left heel up, even pick that foot up, and then send it back. So you can do it nice and slow for fun, like maybe through a warrior 3, then lower that foot down. Good. Your right knee is over the ankle. You can lift up for a moment. You're sort of in your yoga mudra with warrior legs. Maybe send that left leg out to the left a little bit, or even plant it in a warrior foot if that feels more stable for you. That's totally fine. Lift your heart here. You can take a little of an extension and then hinge forward. Pause when your torso is sort of at that diagonal. You can stay here or you can go all the way down into your humble warrior. Again, left foot could be in that warrior foot with the heel lifted, or, I'm sorry, in your Vira 1 or your Vira 2 with the foot planted. And breathe here. Inhale and exhale. One more breath. Good. And then release your hands down towards the earth. Rise all the way up to the warrior 1. And maybe even widen your stance. So if you planted your back foot into the warrior 2 foot, lift the heel again, square your hips, maybe step farther back so you can really sink down into this posture. Now, if you need to bring your back knee down, you can, but stabilize your legs. Like really super strong legs, toned belly, relaxed shoulders, and breathe here. Now let's take our right hand, take hold of that left wrist, give it a tug, and then bow to the right. Take a little side bend here. One more breath. Good. And then come back to center. Let's lower our hands to frame our foot. Let's bring our right foot back to meet our left. Let's go back to the plank pose. Full or modified, up to you. Come forward with your torso. Bend elbows by rib cage, hugging them in low, slowly lower down onto your belly. Cobra or upward facing dog. Press back into downward facing dog or puppy. Breathing here for a breath or two. Inhale and exhale. And again, remember, ears between your triceps, armpits lift. Belly toned, hips lifting, pressing thigh bones back if you can. One more breath. Bend your knees, look up towards your hands. Maybe try that hopping again. Come forward. Rise up halfway. Exhale and fold. And then next time, squat down. Lift your chest and arms forward, Utkatasana, and breathe here. Again, drawing weight back toward heels, tailbone drawing down, belly toned, shoulders relaxed. Send your arms back behind you, palms down. Interlace your hands, Yoga Mudra, opposite interlace if you can. Weight to left foot, peel up that right foot. Just on your tippy toes. Maybe lift the leg like we did earlier. And then send it back super slow. Super slow. Lower the foot down. Rise up. Virabhadrasana 1 with Yoga Mudra arms. Maybe widen your stance. So I worked my left foot to the left. Maybe I'm going to plant my right foot into warrior, but try to keep a frontal orientation of my torso as best I can. Lift my heart. Exhale, hinge forward, pause at that diagonal space with your torso parallel to earth, or bring your head towards all the way towards the ground in humble warrior, and breathe. Maybe lift the little fist off your back a little bit more. Take one more breath. And then slowly release your hands. Rise all the way up, warrior 1. Bend the knee. Good. Maybe sink a little bit deeper. Activate your legs toward each other. So side to side, forward to back. Relax shoulders and breathe here. Nice strong legs. Lower your knee down if you want to go for more for stretching than for strengthening. And now let's take our left hand, take hold of that right wrist, give it a tug, fold to the left. And breathe. Take one more breath. Come back to your center. Good. We're going to just step forward this time. So the right foot goes back to meet the left. We can spill forward into our Uttanasana. Rise up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale into Uttanasana. Bend your knees, belly on thighs. We're just going to rise up, so lift the chest, lift the arms, rise all the way up, hands to prayer overhead, and then to our heart. And baby by your side, Samastitihi. Balance standing. To take a moment to notice how we're feeling now. All right, so next wave, we're going to add some twisting, some more twisting. So coming to the short, the top of your mat, feet together if you can, or hips distance. This time we'll just squat all the way down into our Utkatasana. So bend your knees, sweep your fingers towards the earth, keep your legs bent with your weight shifting towards the heels, lift your chest and arms. Maybe, turning pinkies up towards sky. And breathe here for a breath or two. Maybe cementing your legs together as one for starters. And then bend your elbows, bring your hands to prayer at heart height. See if you can keep the wrists and elbows aligned with your heart. Press your legs and palms together. Use that leverage to twist to the right. Try to keep the hips facing forward. They might tend to track to the right, so square them forward. Good. Now you can stay here and step back into your lunge. If you'd like to go deeper and try the bind, you can. So go a little deeper into your squat. Bring the left elbow to the outside of the right knee, right elbow to sky. And breathe here. And keep lengthening from your hips to the crown of your head, wringing out your belly, pressing upper hand into lower hand. Now you can stay here for a breath or two, or if you'd like to try to step back here, a little bit of a challenge, look down at your right foot, and then peel up that left leg again like we've been doing. Send that leg back, nice and slow, lower it down, and then resume your twist. And breathe. If you had to come out of it, just go back in, that's fine, rebuild it. And then let's unwind by lowering our left hand now down to the earth, to the outside of the right foot, to the inside of the right foot, or on a block, right arm to sky. Good job. Take one more breath. Lower that hand down to the earth. Bring your right foot to meet your left, so we're back into our plank pose. Good. Now you can stay here. We're going to do a side plank. Maybe you want to lower the left knee down. Pivot onto the big toe side of the right foot. Left hand under shoulder. Open up your torso to the right. Right, so here's the modification. I'll show the not modification on the other side, the fold. And then this left calf could be in line, which might be a little more challenging. Could be back behind you, which might be more stable. The right leg could be lifted, whether you're in full Vashisthasana or this modified. Spin your heart open and breathe here. Even send the arm overhead along with your ear. Take one more breath, and then windmill the hand down to the earth, back into your full plank. Slowly lower down onto your belly, cobra or upward facing dog. Back, roll over your toes or through hands and knees, downward facing dog. And breathe here. Couple of breath cycles, grounding hands, lifting hips. Ears between your biceps, shoulders nice and stable down the back. Take one or two more breath cycles. And then bend your knees, look up towards your hands, step or hop your feet to your hands. Uttanasana. Rise up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana, then back into our Uttanasana, bend our knees and rise up, Utkatasana. So here we are again, same thing. Now I'm gonna actually turn this way. Shift your weight back towards your heels, bring your legs together if that was better for you on the other side. And then bring your hands to prayer at heart height. Press palms and knees together, belly toned, rotate to the left. Stay upright if that's more comfortable for you, or start to hinge forward and hook the right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Press palms together. Maybe go a little deeper. Breathing here. Keeping your hips and knees facing forward, the torso rotates from your belly to the left. Good. Now, step back into your lunge with the right leg. And you can do that by staying in your twist or coming out and then rebuilding. Up to you. But if you're staying here, pick up the right heel, get light on that leg, send it back. Okay, reestablish your twist. Good, lengthening through crown of head, spinning your heart open. One more breath here. Lower left hand down to the earth. Right arm down, left arm to sky. Take one more twist. And then lower the left hand down. Left foot goes back to meet the right. Back into our plank pose, modified or full. And we're going to turn to the left in our modified. So I might want to lower my right knee down and then pivot to the left, left arm to sky. Or I might want to bring my legs together, pivot on the pinky toe side of my right foot, stack my legs, and then have that left arm up. Either way, lift your hips, spin your heart open, breathing here. Maybe lift the top leg. Maybe send the arm overhead in line with your ear. One more breath. And then lower that hand down to the earth, back into your fuller modified plank, forward with your chest, slowly lower down, cobra or upward facing dog, downward facing dog, last time. And breathe here, 3 to 5 breath cycles. And spinning inner arms up to the sky, biceps between your arms, hips lifting, thigh bones pressing back. Inhale and exhale. Take one more breath. Bend your knees. Step or hop your feet towards your hands. Uttanasana. Rise up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale back into our Uttanasana. Bend your knees. Belly on thighs, arms out like a tear of prayer. Rise all the way up to standing, hands to prayer, and prayer to your heart. And notice how you're feeling now. Good job. All right. So let's balance. So let's see, how should we get there? Let's try it through an Utkatasana. Let's try to flow through Utkatasana again. You can come to the middle of your mat. If you want to have a wall or a chair handy, feel free to do that. And we'll, with our legs together, Squatting down, shifting weight toward heels as you bend the knees. Really, again, firing up glutes and hamstrings. Sweep your fingers towards the earth, rise up, Utkatasana. You know, palms facing upward, pinkies drawing in. Now let's start on the right leg. So start to peel the right heel off the earth. Good. So, and then let's rise all the way up, picking up that right leg. So you're back in sort of like a Balakikasana. Lower your right hand onto your knee, left hand onto your hip. Externally rotate that right leg. Keep that, and it doesn't matter how much you lift it, right? So it could be a little lift, you know, anything. The foot could be down, or maybe it's lifted high. It's up to you. But we're getting external rotation in the right leg, balancing, toning our belly. If you want, you can even extend the left arm, thumb up to sky, drishti is your thumb. Woo, right? And breathe. Keep toning the belly, lengthening through crown of head. Good. Now bring your gaze back to neutral, hand back onto your hip. Let that right foot come into the left leg for Vrikshasana, for your tree. And you can use your hands to make any adjustment to find that placement of your foot. And press the right heel into the left leg, no matter where it is, doesn't matter. Feel the outer hips activate. The torso get long. Hands could stay on hips, at heart, or they could go skyward. And find your tree. And breathe. Relaxing shoulders, toning belly. Calm, easy breath. And then yogi, slowly bring that leg in, hands down, squatting down, Utkatasana again, here we go. Last time. All right, so, drawing your hips back, shoulders down the back, pinkies drawing in. Shift the weight to the right leg and peel up onto the ball of the left foot. Bring your right leg towards straighter as you pick that left leg up as much as feels comfortable for you. Lower your right hand onto your hip, your left hand onto the knee for support as you externally rotate that leg. You can hold it up. You can send that right arm out to the side and you can look at your right thumb. And then you can bring your gaze back to center, the right hand onto the hip, the left leg to its tree position. Maybe see where it goes without the use of your hand, for starters, just for a little challenge. And then press the left leg into the right. Activate hips, tone belly, lengthen through crown of head. Find your hand position, hips on a prop, heart, or to sky. Take one more breath here. And then yogi, slowly make your way out of the posture. And pause and notice. Shake out the legs if you want after all of that standing work. Strong standing stuff today. Nice. Good job. So then let's make our way onto our backs. So we'll come onto our backs in a constructive rest. Yeah, let's just go right to constructive rest for a moment. And pause and notice how you're feeling now. So we'll do a few sort of Pilates-inspired core movements. And to do that, let's make sure we really stabilize the low back. So bring your hands by your sides, underneath your hips. Bring one hand under each hip. So this will kind of, press, or almost force your low back down onto the earth. Now draw your low belly in so you're really supported with your core. Bring your legs up to a reverse table. Take a moment here. And then we'll extend our legs. Let's extend them up to the sky. Let's extend them up to the sky. And then we're going to open them sort of hip width or a little wider. And then you're going to send your legs out to a place where you can hover using core strength and keep the belly stabilized. Then you'll bring the right leg under left or left over right, and then back out, and then cross again. So you're doing this crisscrossing. So go back and forth a few times like that. And you could lower your legs to a lower position, but make sure that you're engaging the legs, you're engaging the core, and keeping the low back nice and stable. Find a pace that works for you. So just scissoring back and forth. And it's 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then bring your legs back to neutral, back up to the sky, and then back to the reverse table. Okay, so and make sure your knees are over your hips if you can. Even check yourself out in your video. And then we're going to bring that right knee in as you extend the left leg low. And then we'll switch. And you can just go back and forth, switch, and switch, and switch, and switch. Good. So kind of like Apanasana, you're pulling one leg in and you're extending the other leg out. If you want, you could just keep the resting or the leg that's coming in kind of at neutral and just extend. It's harder to do. Flowing with your breath. The extended leg goes to that place where you can hover without causing the low back to arch. And here we go. It's 4, 3, 2, and 1. And bring the legs back to center, back to that reverse table. So one more. Well, actually, let's take a little break. Hands on the knees. All right, and then pull your legs in. And then extend them out until your arms are full extension, and just kind of pull in and out. So just give it a little break to the core, massaging the sacral region. Good. All right. Now, this next time you can release the legs, send them back up to the sky. Maybe bring your arms by your sides, and again, bring them underneath your hips, or they can stay by your sides, palms down, or up to the sky, or, in line with your ears. So on the earth. So whatever feels comfortable for you. Make sure the low back and low belly draw down for nice and stability, core engagement. And we're going to lower our legs down in 3 various settings. So the first time it'll just be, a third of the way down, 2/3 of the way down, and the full extension is a place where you can hover without the low back arching, right? And then we'll go back the other way. So, okay, press low back down, draw low belly in, lower your legs to that a third of the way down, a third of the way toward your hover place. Breathe here, activate your legs, maybe pressing through balls of feet. So the legs are real active too. Lower 2/3 of the way, and keep breathing, engaging core. Lower all the way to your hover place. Press, press, press. Low back and low belly down. And then rise all the way up. 2 more times. Third of the way down for a couple of breath cycles. Two-thirds of the way down. Your hover place. Keep legs active, low belly drawing down. Don't let the low back arch. Come all the way back up. Last time. Go to the third of the way down. 2/3 of the way down. to your beautiful, beautiful hover place. Keep breathing, engaging. Now coming up slow. Come up 2/3 of the way. Come up 1/3 of the way. Come up all the way. Go down to your hover place right away. Hover and breathe. Oh yeah, doing it in reverse. Come up to the 2/3 setting. Come to the 1/3 setting. Come all the way up, last time. Go all the way to your hover place. Come up to the 2/3 place. Keep belly engaged, low belly down. 1/3. All the way up. And this time go all the way down onto the earth. Release your arms, take a big stretch, reaching from fingers to toes. We did that. Good job. Stretch from fingers to toes, big, big stretch, 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 and then release. Now to release it, let's come into a little bridging. So it'll be good leg strength there, but also we want to stretch out our belly first. So bend the knees, bring the heels in. Maybe you could feel them, maybe not, that's okay. But make sure ankles, knees, and hips are aligned with your hips. Yeah, don't put a block between your inner thighs, but get a sense that you're squeezing your inner thighs toward each other. They don't have to touch, but they are drawing inward. Arms by your sides, elbows down, bend the elbows, fingers towards the sky, like little robot arms or Devyasana arms. Right? So elbows stay hugging in, feet ground. Start to lift your hips as you draw your tailbone towards your knees, the mid back, come onto the upper back, and then slowly lower. So raise up and down like this as we stretch out the belly, the abdominal wall, the skin of the belly. Our tailbone draws toward our knees. We squeeze the inner thighs toward each other. We try to lift up as much as we can so we get that upper back, the thoracic lifts. 2 more. We're flowing with our breath. Last time, stay upward. Keep drawing knees and tailbone away, pressing elbows and back of head down too. Keep your neck in its neutral curve. Lift up as high as feels comfortable for you, and then slowly lower down. Now we're going to do that again with our single leg. So send your right leg to the sky, right over your hip, and then once again, raise and lower. This is really good for strengthening the quads around the knees. Raise and lower. Raise and lower. Two more. This next time, hold it up there. Stay, stay, stay. Really squeeze the muscles around the left knee. Lift that right leg up a little higher. And then slowly lower down. Bend your right knee. Bring your right ankle over the left knee. Figure 4 pose. You can use your right hand to press that thigh away, getting space in the hip socket. Make sure that right foot is dorsiflexed. So we only are feeling the external rotation, kind of like we did in tree. Or in the both balance poses, actually. Stay here if you're happy. If you want more of an outer hip, hamstring stretch, groin stretch, bring that leg in. Interlace your hands around your left hamstring or your shin. And breathe here. You can add flexion and rotation to your left ankle. And breathe. Feels good. And keep pressing the back of your head down so that the chin doesn't jut up. That your neck will come into extension. So see if you can, keep the back of the head down. Take one more breath. And then let's slowly lower the left leg if you've lifted it. Let's all bring our arms out like a T. And then let's let our legs drop over to the right. So the right thigh will come onto the earth. That foot will draw the left knee down, and we'll get this nice twist and extension on the left side. So breathe here. If that doesn't feel comfortable, this, internal rotation on the left leg, you could always release the foot. You don't have to, press it down. But this is a good stretch for the psoas, especially after that strengthening work that we did in the lunges, which actually stretched it and strengthened it, but it's another nice way to get at that front of the thigh. Take one more breath, and then let the legs come back up to the starting position, so back to the figure four, and then we'll let our legs drop over to the left, so we take a knee down twist with figure four legs. So maybe you can bring the right foot onto the earth, maybe on a block or just flat on the ground. The knee can be up to the sky, so you're still getting your outer hip stretch. And then we're rotating our torso from our side waist, from our belly rather, to the right, and you can look over your right hand. Then you can bring your gaze back to center, the legs back to center, uncross your right leg, bring your arms by your sides again, pause and notice. We have to do that all on the other side, sorry. All right, so here we go. Reset your bridge if you need to. Bend your elbows into your robot arms. And here we go. We'll start right with our single leg. So lift your left leg up to sky, and then press up and lower. Lift and lower. Again, keeping the back of your skull grounding, elbows, strong right leg. Lift up as high as feels comfortable for you. Now 2 more. And this next time you lift up, hold it there, hold. Squeeze the muscles around the right knee, in your glute, your hamstring. Lift the left leg skyward. Breathing here, pressing elbows and back of head down. Lift up a little higher, and then slowly lower down, bend your left knee, and bring that left ankle over right knee, figure four. Left hand could come onto the thigh or in the hip crease to get a little more space in the hip socket. Pause here if this is good enough. If you want more sensation, bring the right leg in, and there's more. Don't lose your figure four though. Good, breathe with that, whatever you're feeling. Maybe add rotation and flexion to your right ankle. Take one more breath or two. And then let's slowly lower our foot down. You can bring your arms out like a T. And then let both legs drop over to the left. Maybe the left foot can draw the right knee down to get that psoas stretch and extension, looking over right shoulder. And then come on back through center, gaze and knees. And then we'll go in the other direction for the knee down twist. So both legs drop over to the right, left foot onto the earth, if you can, keeping your figure four shape. Modifying as needed, maybe just, letting both legs stack on each other, up to you. Look over your left shoulder towards your left hand. Then bring your gaze back to center. Your legs back to center. Lower your left foot to the earth. Bring your knees in towards your chest. Sweep your arms around. Let the hands or the palms rest on the knees again. Pull the legs in as you bend your elbows. Draw the legs away as you extend your arms. Back and forth like that a few times. And then finally pull your legs in. You could give them a squeeze, peel head to knees, knees to head. As you slowly lower your head and shoulders and extend one leg, then the other leg. Let both legs drop out to the sides. Ground each half of your pelvis. Release your arms as you extend your arms by your sides in a low V and spin your palms up to the sky. Press the backs of your hands into the earth so you can lift your chest up a little bit. Draw shoulder blades together down the back so you can get more space across your chest. Press the back of your head down, maybe even rocking it side to side. And then press the back of the skull down, bringing any movement in your neck to stillness. Take a big inhale and an exhale and part your jaw. Give it a wiggle. Maybe yawn. Releasing any last tension. Soften your face. Take another big inhale, and on an exhale, release your belly. Surrender the weight of your body. And let's rest here now, fully supported by the earth, with our open palms and open heart, ready to receive the benefits of our practice and the Shanti, the peace of yoga. Honor the seasons of your soul. There are seasons and cycles in our lives, just as there are seasons and cycles in nature, to all of life. We move imperceptibly from one to the other, learning, growing, laughing, and crying along the way. We accept with joy the seasons of nature. We honor them. We wouldn't think of pulling at the tiny blades of grass in early spring we wouldn't think of pulling at the tiny blades of grass in early spring to force their growth. Neither would we chastise them for growing too slowly or wilting with the first frost of autumn. We can learn to recognize and honor the seasons and cycles in ourselves. The answers will come, small glimpses at first, like the first tender shoots of grass. We get an idea, a clue, a hint of what we're about to learn. Then comes a series of experiences. Sometimes we immediately see the connection, sometimes we don't. We go about the business of living our lives. Then one day we see that tiny shoot has become a full grown blade of grass, a rolling lawn covering the landscape. We see the connections, the lessons, and we honor all the feelings that we had along the way. We're different, we're changed, we're new. A new season has arrived. And just when we think that the way it is now is the way it will be forever, another season begins. And naturally, as imperceptibly as the last, it too will build on what has already happened and create something new. There are seasons and cycles in us, just as there are in nature. Learn to recognize and honor the seasons and cycles of the soul. Allow your breath to deepen. Gently rock your head from side to side. Bring movement to fingers and toes. Maybe sweep your arms overhead, taking a big stretch. Even sweeping your arms by your sides and giving your legs another squeeze. And then with bent or straight legs, roll over onto your right side and rest there for a moment. In what I like to call our first yoga position. And then you can use your right elbow and left hand to sit up slowly, coming up to a comfortable seat like we began, noticing how you're feeling now. And then draw hands together at heart center, dropping your head into your heart in gratitude. And we'll seal our practice by joining our voices in one Om. Inhale. The divine light in me honors the divine light in you. Namaste.